Tonight, 2 Queenslanders arrested over a Mid-North police change, and warnings that a doctor shortage in our region is at crisis point.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, it's great to be with you here on the desk. A man and a woman from Queensland have been arrested after leading police on a chase through the Mid-North over the weekend. Garth Burley has the details.
It's understood the chase began just before 5 p.m. on Saturday in Port Augusta, after patrols attempted to stop a dark blue sedan on Spear Creek Road. Refusing to stop, the vehicle led police on a chase to Wilmington, where the operation was terminated due to safety reasons.
It had started in a fairly quiet stretch of road, and obviously going into a built-up area, any speed above the speed limit becomes a safety concern.
It's in Wilmington where authorities allege the pursuit took a more sinister turn, with the suspects threatening a woman with a pocket knife before stealing her car and heading south along the Horrocks Highway. An hour later, the stolen vehicle was seen driving through the streets of Orroroo. In an attempt to evade authorities, the suspects crashed into a fence on Minborough Road.
And after a short foot chase, a male and female person were arrested.
A 36-year-old man and 20-year-old woman, both from Queensland, were brought to the Port Augusta police station where they were charged with a string of offences, including engage in a police pursuit and aggravated serious criminal trespass.
Happened across the border of a policing district, so it just goes to show that police work collaboratively and all got together for a really good result.
The pair were refused police bail and appeared in the Port Augusta Magistrates Court today.
A Broken Hill woman has received a $350 fine for attempting to break into the city's jail. Police say the incident occurred in the afternoon of Monday last week. Correctional officers spotted the 37-year-old climbing the rear fence of the correctional centre. She reportedly told the officers she thought she could take a shortcut through the jail, as it was quicker than walking around. She was issued a ticket for entering enclosed lands. A 60-year-old Broken Hill man has lost his licence for 6 months after being caught 50 k's over the speed limit on the Barrier Highway near Yunta. The driver was clocked travelling at 164 kilometres an hour in the 110 zone last Friday afternoon. He was issued with a $1,096 fine and an immediate loss of licence. Police are once again reminding the public to slow down, saying speed is one of the main factors in serious and fatal collisions. A widespread doctor shortage in the Eyre Peninsula is reaching crisis point, according to Grey's Centre Alliance candidate Andrea Broadfoot. Several towns in the region saying they can't secure a single doctor.
It's a growing crisis facing many regional towns. Communities unable to secure permanent doctors, leaving many clinics without one.
Places like Kimber that for years haven't been able to attract and keep a GP. The facts show that if people are seeing a GP regularly, they're less likely to need specialist services, which are more expensive.
Ms Broadfoot says she wants an urgent review into incentive packages offered to general practitioners, arguing the federal government needs to increase incentives for GPs working in remote areas.
Something that we need to really bring to the forefront of the policymakers in Canberra to make sure the systems we put in place are equitable for everybody.
Rowan Ramsey says he doesn't believe a review into incentive packages is needed.
My guess is that money is probably not going to make the difference. It's more about developing a working model that they want to work in.
Currently, there is more than 60 GP shortages around regional South Australia. Dr Gerard Quigley is the only doctor in Cummins, saying his clinic has found it difficult to find permanent doctors.
There's at the moment a maldistribution of the medical workforce. There's a lot of GPs in urban areas and not enough rurally.
He says it's a basic need for towns to have doctors, with many illnesses being able to be treated if diagnosed early.
Good health outcomes for rural patients, or any patient really, is dependent on having a well-trained, well-resourced GP-led primary health care team.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Perry's Bungama solar farm has announced plans to remove 36,000 panels from the Napperby site in a bid to quell tensions with neighbouring farmers. Adjacent landowners have voiced concerns over the visual impact of the 530-hectare site.
The owners of Napperby's newest solar farm have been busy channeling a different kind of energy. EPS Energy has spent the last week jumping through hurdles at the State Assessment Panel hearing, selling its ambitious $650 million project to neighbouring landholders.
It's a long-term project, and with that, like any good neighbour, you need to create a relationship.
The company has committed to extending a buffer zone between adjacent properties by 20 hectares. It'll cost them $5 million in lost earnings over the site's 30-year lifespan, but they say it's a sacrifice worth making to ensure a better relationship with nearby residents.
I guess is, a loss in income over the life of the project, but it's about also being a good neighbour to these landowners and taking on board their concerns.
Local property holders have voiced concern over the visual impacts of the site and how it may affect the value of their land. The company says there will be no impact on property prices. However, Councillor Grant McKenzie says there is a limited amount of planning merit attached to the issue.
And they've been advised by their valuer that as long as the views are protected from their property, then that shouldn't have an impact on their property value.
There's no direct reference to property values within our development plan or the state's development plan. So
construction is expected to begin in the first quarter of next year. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, cooling caps finally delivered to the Whyalla Hospital, and Revheads enjoy the Port Augusta Motor Show. Welcome back. Whyalla residents now have access to a cooling cap machine at the local hospital after raising the funds to purchase it. It'll help cancer sufferers keep their hair through the grueling treatment process.
In tribute to dedicated community fundraising, patients are welcoming a high-tech scalp cooling machine at Whyalla Hospital.
It's great. I was very excited to hear that we were getting the machine here and that what we put together.
We're absolutely thrilled to have it here in Whyalla now. It's been a little while coming.
$45,000 machine preserves a patient's scalp by using a cooling cap, claiming to be effective 89% of the time. Patients say it's a breakthrough to help keep their identity and get through the tough time of cancer treatment.
If you cannot lose your hair while you're going through treatment, you feel sick enough as it is.
Health practitioners say not only does it help with body image, it also makes life easier for rural cancer sufferers.
It's convenient, it's much more family-centric, it's patient-centric. They don't have to travel when they are ill. They don't have to go and stay in Adelaide for a duration of time, disrupting the family.
Whyalla is one of the first regional hospitals to receive a cooling cap machine, and it was made possible by fundraising and community support.
Both clubs are just fabulous. They support wherever they can.
It goes back to the local community.
And Professor Mitra says it would be beneficial for other regions to be considered for access.
We are looking at a goods and services fund to see if we can buy some machines for the other regions.
Shari Ham, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Fantastic work by the community. A new suicide prevention network is being developed in Tumby Bay, helping to provide services and support for those who are struggling. The project set up by 2 sisters who lost their brother to suicide nearly 4 years ago.
It's a difficult topic to talk about, but 2 sisters from Tumby Bay want to start the conversation.
In 2016, my younger brother actually died by suicide, so that's really a very difficult experience, and it's an experience that we want to prevent other people and other friends having to go through.
Danica and her sister Emma setting up the Beacon of Hope, a suicide prevention network to help those struggling, a group offering support and information, something the sisters say wasn't available for their brother.
There seemed to be a gap between the availability of being able to get information, and that's really what this community group will do, is be there for people to be able to pass things on so that they know where to go for help.
The Beacon of Hope is being established with the help from the Office of the Chief Psychiatrist. in a push by the South Australian Government to establish more suicide prevention networks in regional towns.
There's a big myth about asking people if they're feeling suicidal, but actually talking about it can sometimes give them the opportunity to reach out for help.
The group currently has 12 members who are all from the local community. Danica are encouraging everyone to take part in online mental health courses and become more aware of the signs.
So if every single person just learns a little bit about suicide prevention, then I think that we'll all be able to care better for each other.
If you or someone you know is struggling, you can contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police are hunting for thieves who allegedly stole a white Nissan Navara from a Wyler Norrie home on Thursday night. It was stolen sometime between 10 p.m. Thursday and 8 a.m. Friday from the front yard of a Heath Street home. The vehicle has 2 spotlights mounted on the bull bar and is also fitted with a UHF aerial. Police urge anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. They're also reminding residents to ensure their property is secure at night. Rev heads were treated to a display of engines on land, air and sea as part of the Port Augusta Motor Show over the weekend. Organisers say the event pulled around 4,000 people through the gates.
They're slim, fast and incredibly loud.
When you wear the helmet and everything, it sort of muffles it out. It is still loud, but you know, I like to listen to it anyway.
These blown alcohol displacement boats skimming across the Spencer Gulf at high speeds.
So we're doing about 125 mile an hour out here.
From the water to the wharf, thousands packing along Port Augusta's esplanade to satisfy their need for speed at this year's motor show. Rev heads from across the state showing off their pride and joy, the new and the old.
Well, she's a 1967 GTA Mustang, very rare. As this model, there was only 4,918 of these cars ever produced.
From 4 wheels to 3.
Well, this one's my 5th trike, and it's the actual 4th one I've built.
And even 2. The motor show giving keen onlookers plenty of eye candy.
Really good turnout, good cars, yeah, really good day.
The variety is a good thing really, because otherwise people just get sick of the same things all the time.
Organisers are labelling the event a success, with around 4,000 punters making their way through the gates.
A lot of towns get benefit of motels and hotels and the restaurants and that sort of thing.
Seeing these beautiful cars here that are on display in Port Augusta has been a great day by all.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The 4th and final respite cabin now open at Wallaroo, and a knockout performance by Warlocks at the Iron Gloves Boxing in Wyler. Hello again. A 4th and final respite cabin has finally opened in Wallaroo after a decade of funding by the local Apex group. The retreat's offering free accommodation to cancer sufferers in South Australia.
Wallaroo's holiday park has a case of cabin fever, following the development of a 4th holiday retreat for those doing it tough.
Anyone with cancer in South Australia can come for a week's free holiday within the North Beach Tourist Park.
The plan has been in the pipeline for more than a decade. 4 respite homes delivering a break to those who need it most.
It's a really good feeling thinking that we're helping someone out with cancer and families and giving them a holiday.
Apex members delivering the goods. The ambitious project being bankrolled from funds raised during the Apex Outback Postie bike ride, an event that sees hundreds of riders travel more than 1,000 kilometres over 4 days in the Flinders Ranges.
It probably wouldn't happen without the Postie bike ride. We raise, say, 100 grand each year. The units cost, say, 200.
The 13th ride marking a milestone moment for the Apex Club.
We'll raise $1 million on the Outback Postie bike ride, which is just terrific.
This year's ride was also tinged with some sadness. The group honouring their previous chairman, who tragically lost his own battle with cancer.
This year we're having our 13th ride, and fortunately our chairman passed away last year, Justin Vomard, so this year's ride is in memory of him.
It's early days, but the cabins are already proving to be a popular getaway. Currently, more than 500 families have used the facilities of all cabins booked out for the next 4 months. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Wyala's Iron Gloves boxing show thrilled fans as a large crowd packed the leisure centre on Saturday night. It was an excellent night for the hosts, with fighters from the Warlocks gym delivering a knockout performance.
Packed crowd of 500 people enjoying a Saturday night of exciting big hits. JPF Promotions have taken a new angle from previous Muay Thai shows, showcasing an Iron Glove show with both South Australian and interstate amateur boxers. It's in its 12th year, and it's an event the Wyala public mark on their calendar every year.
They all put on awesome performances. The crowd's been excellent. I think it's been an awesome evening.
Wyala's Warlock Gym took home 4 wins, with one Wyala fighter claiming Boxer of the Night.
The hardest fight I've ever had. The guy was unstoppable. No matter how hard I hit him, he just kept coming.
I had a tough fight. The guy come down from Adelaide, which is great respect for coming so far, and yeah, I respect everyone that got in the ring tonight.
With months of planning and preparation, Justin Fennell says the hard work getting this event organised has paid off.
I'm proud of every one of them. It's a big effort to get in that ring and put it all in front of your hometown. I'm ecstatic.
And the boxers say their preparation for the night wasn't easy either.
Training 3, 4, 5 times a week, but we can't do it on our own. We do it with our teammates. Yeah, we're a family.
Warlocks Wyala encourages anyone interested to come and give it a crack.
Mentally, physically, make you feel 10 times better. You don't have to be a fighter, you can just come and train.
It's a good sport to get into for your fitness and your mentality, so yeah, I think they should come out and give it a go.
Shari Ham, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Great work there. A group of Broken Hill pool players will represent New South Wales at the Australian 8-Ball national titles. While the sport tends to be dominated by older generations, this team is on the young side.
Getting plenty of practice in before they play for the state.
These kids are going to go a long way in 8-Ball. They're the future of 8-Ball and Broken Hill, and I'm pleased to be part of it.
Malachi Durbridge, Caleb Everest and Yan Mark and Jazz Sumalanog are all Broken Hill 8-Ball juniors. They play in the local competition, holding their own against the city's veterans. With their impressive skills, team manager Jared Lehman looked into resurrecting a New South Wales junior state side.
They play twice a week and they're really good players. Can we get them in the national squad? And they said, yep, straight away. No tryouts, no nothing, just straight into the side.
Next year in January, the Young Guns squad will head to Albury to play in the national 8-Ball titles. The side will also be travelling to Adelaide soon to get a taste of state-level pool.
They just love it. So the opportunity was there to give the kids the opportunity to see what it's like out of just playing in Broken Hill.
They will also get to see what world-class 8-Ball is like when English player Mick Hill visits the city this weekend. The kids will get a chance to play against the 5-time world champion on Saturday night. The team is currently looking for sponsors for their trip to the national titles.
So I reckon they're going to love it, and they won't really appreciate it until they actually play it, I'd believe.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
After the break, we'll take a look at the weekend's footy scores, and Louise Hedger will join us with all the latest weather details. Hello again. Flowers bunched by the Port Augusta Community Charities proved to be a popular gift for Mother's Day in Port Augusta. Volunteers from the charity say they were completely sold out of floral arrangements by 1 p.m. on Sunday, with the venture raising over $1,500 in clear profit. It was just reward for the group, who'd spent most of last week bunching them. The proceeds from the sales will be donated back into the Port Augusta community. To local footy now, and the North Broken Hill Football Club gave playing coach Cody Howard a commanding win over Central in his 250th game at the weekend. Here's Patrick Reinke with the weekend wrap.
Well, it may not be their home turf, but the North Bulldogs were sure playing like it was on Saturday. The Blue and White gave the developing Central Magpies a 99-point toweling, an effort so strong the game was over by half-time. The Magpies had the breeze to start with but couldn't find the goals. The Bulldogs capitalising on the slow start, taking an early lead. The returning Shane Dalby was in good touch all day, slotting 6 majors. Central's problems got worse in the second as North put the foot down. Jaden Kelly chimed in with a few, while in midfield, Quinton Bevan and Eddie Morgan both found the Sharon often. For the Magpies, club legend Anthony Berg, donning the boots once again, was in fine form. Hamish McLean, Luke Neal and Josh Hanford also had modest performances. In the end though, North handed Central an almost triple-figure defeat and their 3rd loss to start the season. A 250th game player coach Cody Howard sure won't forget. In the other matchup, South showed it's still the premiership favourite with a hard-fought win over a menacing West side. The Roos found themselves in a tough contest with the rejuvenated Robins managing to break away in the game's latter stages and end their unbeaten start to the season. Taking a look at the other leagues now and in the Spencer Gulf, West Augusta had an easy day over Central, the margin 54 points. South were too good for Port and Prop Risdon down Solomon Town by 6 goals. Heading over to the Port Lincoln League, and Tasman made it 3 wins in the first 3 rounds, smashing Lincoln South by 97. In contrast, Boston have started their season with 3 defeats after falling short to Mallee Park. And in the other match, Wayback beat Marble Range. In Whyalla, West are still undefeated, holding Rupina goalless in an easy win. Reroona Bay cruised to a win over South Whyalla, and Central edged out the Magpies by a point in a thriller. A quick look at the northern areas. Southern Flinders won by 17, Orroroo by 48 and Crystal Brook by 9. Finishing off with the Great Flinders Football League, United Ulana trounced Ramblers, Air United squandered opportunities going forward and fell to lock, and Tumby Bay had no problem getting past Cummins Capenny. This weekend in Broken Hill footy, we'll see Central host West here at Memorial, while traditional rivals South and North will do battle at the Jube. I'll be back tomorrow night to wrap up the other sports from around the regions.
We'll see you tomorrow night, Pat. Now to weather, and Brit's off today, so here's Louise Hedger with the details.
Good evening. After rain and cold temperatures dominated last week, it was a return to autumn today. Port Augusta, it was sunny and 21, Whyalla partly cloudy and 21, Broken Hill sunny with a top of 19 and Adelaide cloudy and 19. Checking the satellite, there's patchy cloud over the south of the state with westerly winds bringing in a trough that'll see some showers. For our region, there's clear skies thanks to a dominant high pressure system. On the waters, northwesterly winds will reach up to 15 knots with seas rising to a metre. Sunrise will be just after 7:10 with sunset due just after 5:30. Much of the same tomorrow. Port Augusta sunny and 22 degrees. Broken Hill fine and 19. Port Lincoln and Adelaide both partly cloudy and 20 degrees. And Port Pirie is heading for a top of 21. Looking ahead to the end of the week now, and Port Lincoln will be partly cloudy tomorrow and Wednesday at 20 degrees, warming up towards the end of the week. 21 on Thursday and 22 degrees on Friday. Similar conditions in Cleve and Woodner with fine and sunny conditions with temperatures in the low 20s. Whyalla will be fine and sunny for the rest of the week, warming up to 23 by Friday. Port Augusta will be dry with temperatures in the mid-20s. Kadina will be sunny and 20 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, with cloud increasing on Friday. Over in the mid-north, Port Pirie will be 21 tomorrow and Wednesday, rising to 22 on Thursday and 23 by the end of the week. It'll be sunny but cooler in Clare this week with temperatures in the low teens until Thursday before reaching up to 20 degrees on Friday. And in Broken Hill, it'll be sunny and 19 through to Thursday before rising to 22 with cloud heading into the weekend. So after a week of wintry weather, a return to milder conditions. John, back to you.
Looking like a nice week ahead. Thanks for that, Louise. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll have updates later on in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening here on 7. Good night.